today's class we're going to be moving with and around Yogi Squat. We've done that in a recent class and I thought it would be nice to repeat it again. Prop wise, might be needing a block and also a belt. And if you have any injuries, please be very mindful of them. If you have any pain at any time, please be very mindful of that. Move out of poses that cause you pain or severe discomfort. I'll give lots of options. I'll explain Yogi Squat a bit more in the class and just move with your body. This is your yoga practice. I'm only giving you suggestions for what poses to do. You do what feels good to you today. I hope you have fun. In today's class we're going to be, with a few weeks ago that we worked a bit on Yogi Squat, so I thought it would be nice to repeat that, just sort of that I think it's always nice to repeat a certain movement or pose so that your body gets a bit more used to. And so I just want to show you a few options on Yogi Squat, and obviously we'll be moving together so we'll get a lot warmer, and you might see as we move through the class that it gets easier. But Yogi Squat is where I tend to put my feet a bit further than hip, like around hip width apart, maybe a bit more, feet pointing out. And then this is Yogi Squat. You might be able to see, show you from the side, but as I come down, my heels are lifting off a little bit, and then I'm trying to shift my body weight back to have my heels, like the whole foot, in contact. And then your elbows, your arms go against the inside of your knees. And here, I think the hips are quite crucial here to be sitting nicely in it, so we're warming that up quite a bit. But if you're finding it really difficult, one thing you could do is place a block under your bottom and just, didn't place it far enough, and just sit there. And that means that you don't have to worry about falling back, and you can just press your arms, your upper arms against the inner knees, and you really feel it in your hips there. And another thing that you could do is you could also roll up your mat, maybe twice, like so, creating a nice big cushion here, and then placing your heels on that cushioning and sitting back, and that will really help as well. Okay, so just a little bit of explanation before. Prop wise, might be needing a block for that, and then maybe a belt for later. And to start, we're going to be starting lying on our backs, and if you want, you can either lie in a Shavasana to start with, or to already sort of open our hips a little bit if it's comfortable. You can lie in a reclining cobbler pose, the soles of your feet to touch, and your knees falling out. And if you find that, if you want to do reclining cobbler, but you're finding that quite intense this early in the morning, you could get, if you had another block, get another block in place, one block under each knee, so that the knees don't fall out too much. Place them maybe under the thigh, so that I can rest on there. Okay. Alright, as we lie down here, maybe take one deep breath in through the nose, and if you want, you can exhale through the mouth and maybe sigh on the exhale as we arrive here. As we arrive in this moment, as we let go of anything that we're planning to do or that has happened, and just allowing this hour of the day to be your time, just for you, to move, to be present, to start your day. If you want, you can place your hands on your belly, one hand maybe on the abdomen towards the lower belly, and the other hand you can place on the heart or just on the ribs, just to feel that biofeedback of your body moving with every breath. As we inhale, we're feeling our belly rise, body lift, our chest lift. As we exhale, feel our body dropping, sinking into the mat, sinking into the ground, the belly sinking down. Inhaling into the belly, into the ribs, into the upper chest. Exhale, the chest drops, the ribs move together, the belly lowers. Breathing in and out through the nose here, as we will try to breathe in and out through the nose throughout the class. Slowing our breath down, feeling how that slows our mind, how we're feeling more calm. And at the end of that next exhale, slowly, gently opening our eyes. Enjoying that little moment of stillness there. Let's start moving our body. Let's bring our knees together. If you want, you could bring your hands on your thighs, helping the knees together. And let's bring our right knee into our chest, and if you want, you can bring your hands around the shins, and just pulling your leg closer to your chest, mobilizing our hip joint very gently here, not pulling too hard. One breath here, and on the exhale, let's let go, place that right foot on the mat, lifting the left foot off the mat, bending the left knee, bringing it into the chest. If you want, hands around the shins, pulling that thigh towards our chest, the knee towards our armpit, but not too hard. Just very gentle, listening to your body, whatever feels good. And placing that foot down at the end of the exhale. We're going to lift our right foot off the ground again. We're going to cross that right shin over the left thigh for a reclining pigeon, or that figure 4 pose in our legs. So the right foot is just beyond the left thigh. And you can either stay here with your left foot on the floor, or if you wanted, you could lift that left foot off the ground. Just have it either with the foot just in the air, the leg in the air. You could also, if you wanted, go with the right hand through the gap between your thighs, left hand on the outside of the left thigh and hold behind your thigh. We don't want to go any further than this. You could hold around your shins, but it's very early, so let's just hold to quite a gentle stretch here. Feeling that stretch in our glutes. And after the next exhale, we're releasing our hands, lowering the left foot down to the ground, releasing that right foot, placing the right foot on the mat. And now let's lift the left leg, the left foot off the ground, crossing the left shin over the right thigh, the left foot now just beyond the right thigh. And you can either stay here, or if you want, lifting that right foot off the ground, staying here again, or grabbing around the thigh, holding behind the thigh on the back of the thigh. Staying here, stretching our glutes. Probably feeling that stretch quite intensely, as we haven't moved much this morning yet. Next exhale, let's let go. If we're holding behind our thigh, lowering the foot down, right foot down, taking the left foot off and placing the left foot down. If you want now, we can drop our knees together. Our knees are touching, and we can walk our feet a little bit out towards the edges of our mat, or maybe a bit further if it works for you. I'll show you this. And again, being very gentle here. This is a very weird movement, so don't feel you need to go too far. We're just moving our hip joints in the other direction that we did in our reclining cobbler. Staying here for one breath. Inhale, exhale. And the next inhale, let's gently walk our feet back to center. Bring our knees into our chest, both knees this time. Hands on the shins if you want. Maybe let's rock from side to side, massaging our lower back. Coming to center again, and if you want, you can either roll onto your side here and come gently to a seated position, or if you want to massage your back a little more, you can bring your hands behind your knees and rock up and down if you wanted. A bit fun. And then coming to a seated position when you're ready. Lovely. Okay, we're going to, from seated, come into a tabletop. We're going to do a few cat-cows. We're going to engage our core in tabletop. Our hands are under shoulders. Wrists, elbows and shoulders are stacked. Hands shoulder width apart, fingers nice and wide, middle finger pointing forward. Our knees are hip width apart, our toes are pointing back. You could also flex them if you wanted, but I quite like them pointed. And we're going to inhale, we're arching our back here, belly towards the ground, bum and shoulders towards the ceiling, we're looking to the ceiling. Exhale, we're pushing the ground away, we're rounding our spine, chin to chest, tucking the pelvis in. Inhale into our cow, engaging and bring our shoulder blades together here, looking up, engaging the back. Exhale, pushing the shoulder blades apart, just pushing ground away, chest, chin to chest, really squeezing all the air out of the lungs. Inhale, cow, really pulling that belly, really exaggerating that arch, looking up. Exhale, pushing the ground away, squeezing the air out of the lungs. One more either side. Inhale into our cow, looking up. Exhale, cat. And at the end of the exhale, let's come into a neutral spine. Lovely, everyone. I'm going to tuck our toes now and lifting off into our first down dog of the day. And here, let's walk our feet. Let's bring one heel down, bending, straightening one leg, bending the other. The heel of the straight leg will come closer to the ground, and then switching over. Moving as slow here or as fast as feels good to you. Waking up those calves, waking up those hamstrings. If at any point you have a bit of your calves feel particularly tight, you could lift one foot off the ground and shake it a little bit. Just move how it feels good to you. And we're going to come to stillness now and setting up our down dog, how we want to set it up every time we move through it. So our hands are pretty much the same as they were in our cat-cow. Middle finger pointing forward, fingers nice and wide, hands shoulder width apart, and we're pushing through the whole hand. So not just the ball of the hand, but also where the fingers meet the palm, the knuckles of the fingers. Our shoulders are away from the ears, shoulder blades are pulling slightly apart. We've got a nice flat back. If that means that you need to bend your knees, that's totally fine, especially now. It's early, our legs are still a bit tight. We're engaging our core, sucking the belly in a little bit. Our feet are hip width apart, toes pointing forward, and we're looking towards the space between our big toes. And also we want to imagine pulling our heels towards the mat, They don't necessarily need to touch the mat, but just by pulling them towards the mat, we're engaging our calves. Stay here for one breath as we notice, as we sort of see, feel what we're doing in our down dog, so we know how we're moving through it. Okay, let's now gently, gently walk forward, baby steps, walking our feet towards our hands. And stopping behind our hands, about foot width, foot length, whatever feels good to you behind your hands. And just hang here for a moment, and if you want, we can sway. Swaying from side to side, you can hold opposite elbows, or what I quite like is dragging my fingers over the mat, over the ground, so if I'm drawing a rainbow. Waking up our hamstrings again, also waking up our lower back. And then coming to center, to stillness. Let's bend our knees quite a lot so that our belly and our ribs, our chest are in touch with our thighs. Tucking our chin to our chest. Let's gently, gently roll up. Bending the knees, like we're lifting, straightening the knees. Chest comes off the thighs. Rolling through our back. And the last thing that lifts is the chin of the chest. Lovely. Okay, let's come to the front of our mat. And we're going to start in Tadasana for our Sun Salutation. So Tadasana, mountain pose, you can either have your feet hip width apart or to touch, whatever feels good to you. And we're going to lift our toes off the mat, spreading them wide. We're going to lower them one at a time. Lowering the little toe, fourth toe, middle toe, second toe and big toe. Lifting our heels off the mat, placing them down if that does anything for you. Going to engage our perineum or pelvic floor. Going to engage our lower belly. I'm going to roll our shoulders up, back and down. By moving them down and shoulder blades together slightly, we're opening our chest, and automatically our palms will face forward. Imagine you've got someone pulling you by a string right at the crown of your head. So you're standing really tall, but also want to tuck your chin just a little bit so you've got a nice flat neck. Let's stand here for a moment. If you want, you can close your eyes. Okay, inhale, let's lift our arms up. Look into the thumbs if that feels good on your neck. Exhale, engaging the core, folding down with a flat back. Hands either side of the feet, palms to the ground, bending the knees if you need to or want to. Inhale, hands, palms to shins, half forward fold, we're looking down. Exhale, hands down, we're stepping back with the right foot, and we're lowering the knee here, tucking the toes, we're coming into a low lunge. You can either have your hands on your thigh, if that gives you more balance, or you could have your hands either side, you could have your hands in heart center if you want, but also have your hands up. I think that's hands, heart center, that's quite nice right now. Let's stay here for a moment. Working our hip flexors here, and if you push, what I find, pushing the back of my back foot into the mat a bit more activates that a little bit more for me, so maybe have a go at that. Or maybe even imagining that you're trying to get the shin, this part of your shin, well, that's the only part of your shin, the shin of your back leg, of the right leg here, pushing that towards the ground. It probably won't really be in contact with it, but just by engaging that back leg, you feel the stretch in your hip flexor a lot more. One more breath here. Inhale, exhale, hands either side of the front foot, tucking the back toes, lifting the right knee, stepping back into a plank. Lovely. Inhaling a plank and exhale, knees down, chest down, chin down. Inhale, sliding forward into a Cobra. In Cobra, our toes are pointing back, our hands are under shoulders, elbows are into the body, shoulder blades pulling together, shoulders away from the ears, we're looking forward. Exhale, tucking the toes, we're pushing back into a down dog. Staying in our downward facing dog, our Vriksasnan, for 2 breaths. And then I'll tell you what happens. Okay, with the next inhale, we're lifting our right leg off the ground. And we're staying in this three-legged dog here. Just lifting our leg up, more or less in line with our body. Not opening our hip just yet. Staying here for one more breath. And inhale, we're coming onto the tiptoes of the standing foot, the left foot. And we're stepping through into a high lunge with the right foot in between our hands. And inhale, we're coming up into a high lunge here. You can again have your hands on that front thigh, on the right thigh, or on your hips, or if you want, raise them up. If you raise them up, you can either have your hands together. If your hands are together, you want to try and pull your shoulders away from the ears. Or if that doesn't work for you, if your shoulders are a bit tight, have your hands apart. But imagine you're holding a big beach ball, really engaging the fingers here. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale, hands either side of the front foot, the right foot, and we're stepping forward with the left, feet next to each other. Inhale, half forward fold, hands to shins, we're looking down in a half forward fold. We're really engaging the hamstrings here, really stretching them. Exhale, hands either side of the feet, coming into a full forward fold, Utthan Pristhasana, and forehead towards the shins. Inhale, engaging the core, coming up with a flat back. And hands into heart center on the exhale. Lovely. Same thing on the other side. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, we're folding down, engaging the core. Hands out of the feet. Inhale, hands to heart center. Looking down. Exhale, hands down. We're stepping back with the left foot. We're lowering that left knee, untucking the toes. We're coming into our low lunge here. Again, hands either on the thigh. Could also place them on the hips here or in heart center. And again, pushing into the back of the left foot, or imagining that we're trying to get our shin in contact with the mat. Just really engaging that back leg to feel the hip flexor stretch on the left side. Breathing here. One more breath. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale, hands either side of the front foot, the right foot. Lift, tucking the toes, lifting the left knee, stepping back with the right leg into a plank. Inhaling a plank, and exhale, we bring our knees down, chest down, chin down, 8-point pose, the bum is up in the air. Inhale, sliding forward into our Cobra, untucking the toes, looking forward, our back muscles are working. Exhale, we're tucking the toes, pushing back into our down dog. If you want, you can step in a little bit anytime you come into a down dog if it feels a bit long. We're staying in our down dog, pushing through the whole hand. Sorry, child is screaming outside. And one more breath here. And now we're going to lift that left leg off the ground. Again, sort of in line with your body, not lifting it too much to open the hips just yet. Inhaling here, exhaling. Think for one or two more breaths. The next inhale, we're coming onto the tiptoes of the right foot, and exhale, stepping forward in between our hands with the left leg. We're coming into this high lunge. Hands either on our thigh again, on our hips, or up, palms together, holding that imaginary beach ball. And any other hand pose that feels good to you. What we want to try and do is push one hip, square our hips so that our hips and shoulders are on top of each other and are facing the front of the mat. So that might mean that you have to pull that left hip from the bent leg a bit back, the other one forward. And it's really straightening that back leg as well. The right leg is doing yoga. One more breath, inhale, Exhale. Inhale, exhale, hands down either side of the left foot. We're stepping forward with the right foot. Inhale, half forward fold. Exhale, full forward fold. And inhale, we're engaging the core. We're coming up. Exhale, hands into heart center. Lovely. Next one. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, folding down. Inhale, half forward fold, hands to shins. Exhale, hands down. We're stepping back with the right foot. And let's lower the knee again, untuck the toes. And coming into a low lunge again. Here as well, let's pull that very gently, that left hip back, right hip forward to square our hips and shoulders. And just staying here, pushing into the top of that back foot, the right foot, or imagining that we're bringing the right shin in contact with the ground. We're feeling that hip stretch. Lovely, everyone. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Hands either side of the front foot. We're tucking the right foot, lifting the right knee, stepping back into a plank. Inhaling the plank and coming down, knees, chest, chin. Inhale, we're sliding forward into Cobra. Exhale, pushing back, downward dog. Stepping the feet in a little bit maybe. Staying in our downward dog for a moment. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, we're lifting that right leg up. Again, in line with the body for one breath. Now with the next inhale, we're going to open our hips. So that means we're bending the knee, the right knee. We're dropping the right foot towards our glutes. So we're trying to kick ourselves in the bum. Staying here for one breath. Inhale, exhale. And with the next inhale, we're stepping that right foot outside the right hand. So the right foot is on the outside. I'll just move that around a bit so you can see. It's on the outside here, like so. We're going to stay here for a few breaths. In lizard pose. And we're going to do a few variations on lizard pose. Stay wherever you want to be, wherever feels good. And here actually, if you have your block ready or nearby, you could get that. We're going to drop onto our back knee, so the left knee comes down, we're untucking the left toes. And inhale here, and if you want, we can try to come onto our elbows. And this is where the block might come in handy. Placing the block on the instep of the right foot, and maybe coming onto the block with our right forearm, the left forearm maybe to the ground. Just going a bit further here, lowering ourselves down. Really nice, everyone. If you don't need the block, find out with the block as well. You can put it on the long, skinny side so it's higher. Staying here for another breath or two. Okay, just moving some. I can do that from here. Okay, we're going to come back onto our hands. If you were on your forearms, we're going to tuck the back toes and lifting the left knee off the ground. Now I want to try us to step forward with the left foot on the outside of the left hand. So see if you can do that. Oh, well done, great effort. And now we're going to see if we can come into a yogi squat from here. So we're going to lift, lower our bottom a little bit, and as we lower our bottom, bring our hands off the ground into a heart, into a prayer, pushing those thighs against the those upper arms against the inner thigh. Lovely. And if you find it's really difficult, what also helps is just to make your stance, your feet a bit wider, and that for me really helps making it a bit easier. Lovely, really nice everyone. And now inhale here, and exhale, we're pushing it out to our feet and we're coming to standing. Amazing job, well done guys. We do the same thing on the other side. All right, bring our feet together or standing hip width apart for a Tadasana. Let's lift our toes off the ground again one more time as we set ourselves up, lowering them one at a time. Maybe if you like, lifting our heels. Stand with hands on heart center. Let's just stand here for one moment and just breathe here. Sometimes it's nice to take a little break. Okay. All right, the next inhale, we're raising our arms up. Exhale, engaging our core, we're folding down. Inhale, half forward fold, hands to shins. Exhale, hands down, we're stepping back with our left. We're lowering the left knee and tucking the toes. And we're coming into our low lunge again. Again here, maybe pulling that right hip back a little bit, left hip forward a tiny bit, squaring our shoulders and hips. What I mean when I say squaring our hips is almost what I find really helpful as a mental image with that is, imagine you've got a sheet, maybe an A4 or even A3 piece of paper on your chest, and you want that to be really nice and flat rather than sort of pulled back and forward with one bit. It's really nice and flat. Just imagine that. You have your hands on your hips or heart center and pushing that, the back of the foot, the back of the left foot or even the shin, imagining pushing that towards the ground. Inhale, and I've been talking a lot, so exhale, hands down, tucking the toes, lifting the left knee, stepping back into plank. Inhale and exhale, coming down, knees, chest, chin, 8-point pose, bum up in the air. Inhale, sliding forward, Cobra, untucking the toes, shoulder blades together, looking forward. Exhale, we're pushing back into a down dog. Maybe stepping the feet in a little bit if that feels good to you. Breathing here. And I'm just going to turn that a little bit. Hopefully it's better that way. Okay, we're going to lift our left leg off the ground into a three-legged dog. And staying here for one breath. I'm going to now bend our left knee and dropping that foot to the side. Imagine we're trying to kick ourselves in the bottom. Really nice three-legged dogs there, guys. Opening our hip here. Staying here for a few breaths. Pushing equally into both hands. Maybe bringing that back heel, the heel of the right foot, the standing foot, closer to the ground. Inhale. Exhale. With the next inhale, let's step that left foot outside the left hand. Well done, really nice. And we're staying here for a few breaths. And again, if you've got a block nearby, it could be helpful. Stay here for another breath or two. Pulling the heel of the right foot, the back foot back to engage the hip flexor a bit more. Okay, we're lowering our right knee, untucking the right toes. If you want to come onto your forearms, give that a go. You can do that. If you find it really difficult on the left arm, that's totally fine. Just bring your block to the instep of the left foot and rest on that block. And again, you can be on the wide side or even on the long, thin side. That's a bit higher. Just use props. Props are fantastic. They don't mean you're not doing it right. They mean you're doing exactly the right thing for your body. Stay for one more breath here. Okay, and inhale, let's come onto our hands, tucking the toes of the right foot, lifting the knee off. Let's have another go here. Inhale, exhale here first, and with the inhale, see if we can step the right foot outside the right hand. Fantastic. And now, as we sort of lower our bottom, we're lifting our hands off the ground. See if we can bring them into heart center, into a prayer. it's really difficult, just step your feet wider or bring that block if you have it under your bum, sitting there. It's brilliant. The wider your feet are, the easier I find it. And also we're just working on this, so if it's really difficult, that's fine. If this is a new movement for you, that's totally understandable that it is still a bit more difficult. And yeah, if your bum is higher off the ground, that's totally okay. Stay here for one more breath. Inhale, exhale, inhale and exhale. Let's push into our feet and come to standing. Well done. Lovely. I think it would be nice if we tried one more of these movements, one more of these sun salutations that we've just done, but a little faster. So we won't stay in, we won't do the low lunge, but we'll just move through the sun salutation and then from the three-legged dog straight to the squat, or through lizard and then the squat. Because I think we're warming up, so the more we do it, the more we move, the easier it's going to be, and we now know what we expect as well, so it's a bit easier just on that basis. Let's come to the front of our mat again. Maybe lifting our toes again if we want, lifting our heels, standing nice and tall. Let's have one breath here. Connecting with our breath in and out through the nose. And inhale, we're raising our arms. Exhale, engaging the core, folding down. Inhale, half forward fold, hands to shins. Exhale, hands down, we're stepping back with the right foot. And we're straight away following with the left foot into a plank. Inhaling in plank, exhale, knees down, chest down, chin down. Inhale, sliding forward, Cobra. Exhale, we're tucking the toes, we're pushing back into the downward facing dog, maybe stepping the feet in a little bit. Inhale, exhale here. Inhale, let's lift our right foot off the ground into a three-legged dog. Inhale, exhale here. Inhale, we're bending the right knee, dropping the foot as if we're trying to kick ourselves in the bottom. Pushing equally into both hands, maybe bringing the heel of the left foot closer or even a touch with the ground. Inhale, exhale, we're staying here for another moment. Inhale, exhale, and inhale, we're stepping the right foot outside the right hand. Lovely, we're staying in lizard, in this high lizard for a moment. And we're pulling the back heel, the left heel back, pulling it away from us, engaging that back leg. Inhale, exhale, breathing in and out through the nose. Inhale, exhale. With the next inhale, we're going to try to step that left foot outside the left hand. Staying here for a moment. Inhale, exhale, and let's see if we can lower our bum, bring our hands into heart center and coming into the squat. And doing whichever version of the squat you want to do. Again, you could roll up your mat, you could bring the block under your bottom. Staying here for another breath. Inhale, trying to lift our chest as we're getting warmer. Lovely. Exhale. Inhale, with the next exhale, we're pushing into our feet and we're coming to standing. Fantastic, really good. Okay, other side, and then we're done with our sun salutations. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, pull them into heart center. Let's just stand here for a moment. Recentering, reconnecting with our body, with our breath. Okay, next one. Inhale, arms up. And we're starting a sun salutation. Exhale, we're folding down. Inhale, half forward fold. Exhale, hands down. We're stepping back with the left, followed by the right, into our plank right away. Inhaling in plank, exhale, knees down, chest down, chin down. Inhale, sliding forward, Cobra, untucking the toes, shoulder blades together, elbows in the body. Exhale, we're tucking the toes, we're pushing back into our down dog. Maybe stepping the feet in a tiny bit. Inhale, exhale, down dog. Inhale, raising our left leg up into a three-legged dog. Really nice, everyone. Inhale, exhale. Now we're bending our left knee, dropping the foot to the right as if we're trying to kick us out in the bum. Pushing equally in both hands, maybe bringing the heel of the right foot closer or in touch with the ground. Inhale, exhale here. Really good. Inhale, exhale. With the next inhale, we're stepping that left foot outside the left hand. Lovely. We're staying here in lizard, in the high version of lizard. Pulling the heel of the right foot back, of the back foot back. The back leg is doing yoga. By pulling that back heel back, you're engaging that hip flexor a bit more. Staying here for one more breath. Inhale. Exhale. And with the next inhale, we're going to see if we can step that right foot outside the right hand. Fantastic. And now as we lower our bum, maybe lifting our hands off the floor, hands at heart center. We're pushing our hands, our upper arms against the inner knee. Lovely, looking really good. Well done, good work. One more breath here. Inhale, exhale. Inhale and exhale, pushing the ground away. We're coming to standing. Lovely. Well done, everyone. I reckon our hips are nice and warm now. Lovely. And as a little balance, I think tree will do nicely now, because in tree, as we bring our foot wherever we bring it, our hip is obviously opening as well. So we've opened our hips, so this seems like a nice touch. So standing with our feet down, let's really, maybe we're starting standing on the left. So let's lift the toes of the left foot off the ground, lowering them down one at a time, maybe lifting the heel of the left foot. Really nice firm grounding. And let's bring, you can either have your toes on the ground and the heel just above your ankle. You can have your foot against your calf, or generally with the help of your hand, bring the foot against the inner thigh. But definitely not the foot against the knee, that's not a good idea. We're standing here, finding a spot in front of you on the wall to focus on something that doesn't move. And here, opening our hip, maybe pushing that knee, that right knee a bit further out. Woo. Staying for one more breath. And inhale, and exhale, we're coming down. Okay, great. We're going to do the same thing on the other side. So, going to place our right, lift all our right toes off the ground, lowering them one at a time, lifting our right heel off the ground, and then either standing with your toes on the ground, heel just above your ankle, or foot against the calf, or with the help of your hand, bring the foot against the inner thigh. And standing here, engaging our core, pushing the right leg against the foot and the foot against the leg. So it's this counteraction that stabilizes us. And maybe opening the hip a little bit more. And staying here for another 2 breaths maybe. Finding that spot on the ground, on the wall that doesn't move, to be nice and stable. You're doing really well. One more breath. Inhale and exhale, let's let go. Lovely. And we're going to come down to the floor through one final yogi squat. So we can do that from standing. So bringing our feet either hip width apart or a little bit further. We can have our hands in heart center, and let's lower down. Lower our glutes, lower our buttocks down. Lower, 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 lower. See if we can bring our upper arms against the inner knees. Inhale, exhale, inhale, and the exhale, just drop to our arms and counter seated. Lovely. Okay. We're going to be doing, I was about to say let's use our belt, but let's not use our belt. we're going to be moving from seated forward fold to cobbler pose. So, and if we have the belt, it might be a little bit fiddly, so we can just do our seated forward fold without a belt, even if we might normally use it. So we're seated forward fold, legs are stretched out, feet are flexed, toes to the ceiling, the toes are doing yoga too. Sitting nice and tall. If you find it really difficult to sit upright here, you could roll up your mat to have a little bit of an elevation under your bottom, like so. Just a tiny bit might actually help you, or you could sit on a block. And sit here, nice and tall, shoulders together. I'm going to inhale, arms up, and exhale. We're hinging from the hip. We're not rounding the back, we're staying flat in the back, and we're grabbing wherever we can grab. So that means that you're up here and you're holding your calves, fine. That means that you're down here, you're holding your ankles, or maybe you're even holding your feet. That's fantastic too. But just really stay with your own ability. What you want to feel is a nice engagement, a nice stretch in your hamstrings and also your calves and maybe the back of your knees. So let's just breathe here. Your drishti, your focus point, the way you look, are your big toes. Okay, inhale, we're sitting up and we're sliding back. And now let's bring our feet together, let's pull our feet in, and we're sitting in cobbler pose. Let's place our fingers around the back of our feet, the thumbs on the balls of the feet. We're going to open our feet, a bit like the pages of a book. And the reason why I quite like doing that is that by just doing, if your feet, the soles of your feet are pressed together, your hips can't open as much as if you pull your feet apart. Your feet can be wherever you want. They can be quite far away or as close to your groin as you want. It really depends on what your hips are saying to you today, how you feel today. Just sit here nice and tall. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. One more breath. Really nice. And we're letting go of the feet. And we're stretching our feet out again. We're doing another seated forward fold. So feet flex, sitting nice and tall. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, we're folding, hinging from the hip. Nice flat back. We're holding wherever we can hold. Breathing here. In and out through the nose. Inhale, we're looking up and we're sliding back. And let's come into another cobbler. Pulling our feet in. Again, however close or far away you want. Fingers around the back of the feet, thumbs on the balls of the feet, opening them here. You can either sit tall, or if you wanted, you could also do a little forward fold here. But again, nice flat back as much as you can, or as little as you want. Breathing here, in and out through the nose. And if you're folding forward, and you're bending your elbows a little bit, you could push your elbows into your inner thighs and maybe open your hips up a little bit more like that, if you wanted to. Inhale, we're coming up. Exhale, we're stretching our legs out one more time. Final seated forward fold, final Paschimottanasana. Inhale, we're sitting nice and tall. Arms up. Exhale, we're folding down, lovely. Again, holding wherever we can hold. And here again, we're doing this pose a few times. We're doing this movement a couple of times. Maybe you can tell that you can go a little further, fold a little more. It's okay if you don't, but just by doing it a few more times, we're waking up the muscles, we're waking up those tendons and everything, so that the pose might become a bit more accessible. One more breath. Inhale, we're looking up. Exhale, we're coming back to seated. And one last cobbler, Baddha Konasana. Feet together, fingers on the outside of the feet, thumbs on the balls of the feet, opening the feet like the pages of a book. And let's just sit tall here now. Same applies, we're doing the movement a couple of times. So maybe you can pull your knees a bit more towards the ground. No forcing, we're working with our body, not against it. Breathing here. If you want, you can close your eyes. That's quite nice in this pose. I sometimes like that. Very nice, lovely. Okay, inhale. If you close your eyes, open them. We're going to sit back. Let's bring our knees together with our hands. Let's have a big hug here, hugging our knees into our chest. Okay, let's lift our head. I'm going to lie down on the floor now. Lovely. Feet on the floor, feet hip width apart, knees hip width apart. And let's just lie here for a moment. Breathing in and out through the nose. Feeling how as we inhale, our back broadens, presses into the ground. So inhale. It's almost like we lengthen and soften. One more inhale. Exhale. Alright, we're going to do two gentle back bends, two little bridges. We're going to have our hands either side of our body, palms onto the mat. Pray your hands are by your bum. We're going to inhale, we're going to tuck our pelvis. That will mean that you tuck your pelvis and you bring, it's like you close that little gap that is in your lower back. You rock back your hip and you're closing that gap. And now we're going to lift our bum off the ground, lifting the middle back, upper back. And what I've discovered, which is definitely not a secret, but if you push into your feet a little bit, you increase that back bend if you want. Pushing into your feet, bringing the chest closer to the chin. Lovely. Staying for 2 more breaths. Inhale and exhale, we're lowering down, rolling through our upper back, middle back, lower back, and bring our pelvis onto the ground. Let's lift our feet off the floor, just one brief hug. Very nice. Exhale, let's let go, placing the feet on the mat again, as close as we can get them to our glutes. Arms by the side of the body, palms into the ground, into the mat. And we're going to again inhale, tucking the pelvis, closing that gap in our lower back. We're going to lift our glutes, middle back, upper back. And staying here, palms still into the floor. And again, let's push into our feet. See if we can lift, if we can curl more through our back. Inhale, exhale. Try not to have your knees fall out, if your knees point forward. It's sometimes a temptation for your legs to open up. Let's point our knees forward. One more breath here. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale, rolling through our upper back, middle back, lower back, and pelvis down. Let's have our knees into our chest one more time, maybe gently rocking from side to side. Very nice, really nice. And coming to center, stillness, placing our feet on the ground. I'm going to lift our right foot off the ground. We're going to cross it over the left thigh, coming into our reclining pigeon, that figure 4 in our legs. You can either stay here, but I think now we can definitely lift our foot, the left foot off the ground. You could stay here if this is enough, maybe pushing that right knee away a bit, or you could go through your legs, holding behind the left thigh. Very nice. And if you wanted, if you think, oh, there's a bit more room here, you could bring your hands around your shin, the left shin, pulling your left thigh towards you. But what you don't want to do is round too much through your spine. You want to have a relatively flat spine. And just staying here, wherever feels good to you. Really nice. few more breaths. Okay, if you are holding your left leg either around the shins or behind the thigh, let's let go. Bring your left foot to the ground, uncross the right foot to the ground. And same thing on the other side, so we're lifting our left leg, placing the left shin across the right thigh, and either staying here, pushing maybe that left knee away, or lifting your right leg off, the right foot off the ground, staying here, or holding behind our thigh, the right thigh, and pulling that leg towards us, or even holding around the shins. But if you're holding around your right shin, make sure that you've got a relatively flat back and that your head is also not lifting off the ground. You want to stay nice and relaxed, shoulders back, back of the head in touch with the ground. And pulling yourself here, gentle, feeling that stretch in the glutes, and staying for a few more breaths. Okay, if you are holding your right leg either behind the thigh or around the shin, let's let go, placing the right foot on the mat, uncrossing the left leg and place it back down as well. And now let's lift both legs off the ground and have the legs nice and flat and come into a happy baby pose. And in happy baby, you can either hold your shins, your ankles, or the feet. And if you're holding your feet, grab the outside of the feet, but your arms are along the inside of the leg. So you're not holding, but having your arms sort of on the inside of the knee, you're opening our hips a little bit more. If you want to try, you can try a little bit yourself. If your arms are along the outside of your leg, your hips are a lot closer. I'm just pulling here, and again, back of the head in contact with the ground, most of the back in contact with the ground. If you wanted, you could rock a bit from side to side. Happy baby, a bit massaging the back. I think this is quite fun. And if you feel like you can't lift yourself up, you flop to one side, just pull on the opposite foot and that will help you lift off. Maybe come to center for a moment, to stillness. And just one thing that I want you to notice here is that this is actually how our hips are, moving, or the position of our hips, and the thighs being quite close to our body. It's actually a little similar to our Yogi Squat. I think that's quite a nice one to end with. One more breath here. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale and exhale. Let's go off our feet and stretching our legs out, coming into a well-deserved final relaxation. And here, you could be in Shavasana, your feet hip width apart, feet falling out. Or if you wanted to work a bit more on your hips, open them a bit more, you come again, as in the beginning, into reclining cobbler, so the soles of our feet together, making this diamond shape with your legs. Do whatever feels good. Whether you're in reclining cobbler or in Shavasana, your arms are at the side of your body, palms are facing up, palms are by your hips, by your glutes, about 15 centimeters, 3-4 inches away from your body. Maybe bringing our shoulders into the ground, spreading them out, closing our eyes, we're tucking our chin a little bit to have that nice flat neck. Relaxing our face, our forehead, no tension in the face. not clenching our jaw, slight separation in the teeth. The tongue is just lying in the mouth, nice and relaxed. And we're closing our eyes. Breathing in our own rhythm, gently. Breathing here. Feeling that warmth, maybe even slight vibrations from those lovely movements that we did reverberate through your body. Maybe feeling warmer, softer. Just noticing how the body feels differently to about an hour ago. Noticing how the mind feels different too. Maybe a bit more still. Maybe not as busy. Let's just stay here in silence for a little bit. wrists, feet, your toes a little bit. Let's bring our legs together, stretching our legs out. Arms overhead and pointing the toes, stretching the fingers, we're stretching through the whole body. Let go. Bring your knees into your chest. Maybe rocking from side to side, massaging our lower back again. And then rolling onto the right side, bringing our head on the right upper arm as a pillow, left hand in front of our chest. Inhale with the exhale, pushing into that left hand, gently coming up to seated. Lovely. Let's come to a gentle seated pose, whichever feels good to you. One breath here. And exhale. And inhale, making a nice big circle with our arms. Hands overhead. Exhale, pulling our hands down. Let's bring our thumbs to the space between our eyebrows, the third eye, for clear and kind thoughts. Thumbs to our throat for clear and kind words. Thumbs to our heart for clear and kind feelings to others and to ourselves. And if you want, bow with a gratitude to the practice of yoga and gratitude to ourselves for moving today. Thank you so much for being here with me. I hope that was fun.